So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Good afternoon, villains, and welcome to the Team Cheat Tantrum, first Team Cheat Tantrum of 2022. Woo! Yeah, go! Excellent. And we're in time-honored tradition. We're not on time, which is ironic enough. But Paddy, how are you doing today? What's the thought process, and how are you feeling about this game ahead?
First of all, Happy New Year to everyone. But I'm just looking forward to watching Villa playing because it feels like I've just been watching the Greedy Six for the last week. Just feels that way. So I'm looking forward to watching us for a change. I'm presuming, what are we, 70 minutes out? We're not going to have any cancellation at this stage. So, yeah, looking forward to getting back on track. And hopefully, well, not hopefully, I'm expecting 3 points today.
I've got a good feeling about today, but I've known, like as everybody will know, that you can't be too expected with Aston Villa, because Aston Villa are Aston Villa, and specifically against the team like Brentford are just tricky customers. We went through it yesterday in the preview that they've won 2 and drawn 2 of their last 10 games, so they are susceptible to losing as well. They've lost to Burnley and Norwich, so they're like they're an unpredictable team. And I think the fact that they've come up from the Championship is a lot of teams that are now coming up from the Championship, should I say, are becoming unpredictable because people don't know how they play. And sometimes, you've got managers who are out of the box thinkers. Like you remember, like when Daniel Farke, should I say, you had Chris Wilder who came up and he was trying something a small bit different that was played in the Premier League. Sheffield United had a great season, and then the Premier League copped onto them. Even go back as far as Phil Brown came up with Hull. The Premier League couldn't deal with Hull for the first 3 months of the season, and then they shot back down the league again. Remember Ipswich under George Graham. You can go back through years and years and years of the Premier League, and sometimes when teams come up, they're hard to figure out because they're playing.
You've done your research this morning.
No, this is just off the top of my head. This is genuine. I'm just actually going this, but it is. There's always a team that will throw other teams that will come up that will be unfancied. And this year it's Brentford, and Leeds did it last year, and and the year before. Like, so fair play to Brentford. They're playing well, but I still think that we should be beating Brentford today, and we should be able to go there and get a result. I don't know whether we will beat them, but we should be able to go there and get a result. And I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Yeah, I'm not going to accept anything more than a win today. I'm that much enthused by what we have available and what was said. So I'm going by 2 clear goals today, even before the team is announced, unless something mad happens and we're missing a few. But I don't envisage that's going to happen at this stage.
There we go. That's what we'll do. That's what I pay you for, Paddy, isn't it? Wait, I don't
not sitting on the fence anyway, Neil.
Look, I suppose there's been a small bit of news that's come out. Ashley Priest, finger on the pulse as always, is there. Josh Feeney is up with the first team squad today. Obviously, I don't think he's going to start. He's only 16 years of age. He might just be gone 17 actually, but he's somebody that I kind of tongue-in-cheekily name checked as potentially somebody who could come in, who could be on the bench today. I thought more so it might be Lamar Bogart, or maybe even I didn't think it was Finkles, because Finkles doesn't seem to get a look in that aspect. But Feeney has got some experience in playing first team football. It was with Fleetwood, if I'm not mistaken, is who he came from, and he had actually played for them. Captained England under 16s, and even when Villa were beaten in the Youth FA Cup, while he did make a mistake, or he was kind of slow for the goal or something. I remember he stood out for something to do with the goal. I still just thought that he looked like he was he looked like he was an older head on younger shoulders in that game anyway. And fair play to him. Big day for him. Big day for the club. A big day for the academy. Even though we brought him in from another academy, it just shows that my words have failed me. The scouting process and the evaluation process is good if we're able to push him towards the first team this quickly.
And they're like, more than likely we might see him sitting as the extra man in the stand. We don't know, but we'll find out soon enough.
Oh,
But
yeah, most
but
likely, I would say.
my thought process is when you've got the space to do that, if you're short on numbers, and we've no Tyrone Mings or whoever, I don't think there's too many others other than the long term ones that are out. It's good to put the youth in around the setup and see how everything is run on match day and what they've got to do. So it's a big move, and fair play to Stephen Gerrard and his team for getting those people involved, because they cannot complain and say that we don't give youth a chance, because we certainly do.
Yeah, and look, as I say, once again, the likes of Mark Harrison and Stephen Hopcroft need to get a big high five and a big thumbs up for that, because they were brought in here specifically for this, to get people who they think would be able to push towards the first team. And at the end of the day, they can bring these guys in, but if the first team management don't think they're any good when they get to see them, that's another thing. But obviously they are, because week on week we're seeing more youngsters coming up to train with the first team, and even the likes of young Tim and Sinisalo, and we could go on and on and on about the kids that have been brought up. It's a good point of conversation, I think. Let's look at a couple of comments there. Kahua Gaming says, I may be late for most social events. I may be even late to a driving test. I may be late to a COVID party, but I'll never be late. Well, you can't be late for a team sheet tantrum, because we're never early. So we're always the latest people to the team sheet tantrum, Kahua. But see there that you are isolating. Hopefully you're feeling a bit better. I know I saw online this morning that you were like day 11 into your 2 weeks. So stay the course, brother, and keep your head high. But good to hear that you're doing well as well. Brendan says, Happy New Year. Right back at you, Brendan. Gil Gordon is looking for any inside info. No, the only inside info is the fact that we're inside. No, that's the only inside info that we have there as well.
I have some inside info. Tyrone Mings is suspended.
Tyrone Mings. Well, Perry Groves
all we know.
on TalkSport today didn't know that he was suspended, and I think went off in a big, massive, long monologue about him. But I actually like Perry Groves. I like, I don't mind him, but yeah, 5 cards means he's not going to be there today. And I suppose for those of you who've been living under a rock, we won't have Axel Tuanzebe today as well, because of the fact that he's on his way to Napoli. And that broke as I was doing the Brentford breakfast, or the Brighton breakfast, as I continually call them, Brighton, through the majority of the whole lot of the podcast yesterday. But yeah, we won't have Tuanzebe anyway, because he is on his way. Sean Green says that Villa rarely plot a straight course, but so far Gerrard is winning games we should win, and vice versa. Most unlike us. A really true statement, and something that I think is needed. We need to beat the teams that we feel we should be beating, and then anything else is gravy. Because if you're always just eating gravy, that's a surefire way to getting a heart attack. And you need to eat the healthy food as well, the stuff around you. So there's my analogy for the day. Anything else there as well? Fred asked, is McGinn eligible to play today? He is. From all that's been said, he should be back in contention today. Josh Feeney, as David says, in the squad, according to Priest. Absolutely. We just spoke about that. That's really, really good stuff. Kevin Donnelly is going with a 3-0 with 2 Ings goals. That would be good. That would be great for everyone, specifically Danny Ings' confidence. Sam, thanks a million, Sam. Really, really appreciate that. Sam says, thanks for the brilliant content as always. Keeps me entertained in the loop in Australia. We'll get to Villa Park one day. Absolutely, Sam. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. And thanks for the donation as well. Really, really appreciate that. And thanks a million for listening. Lots of Happy New Year's coming in there as well. Lizanne McCallion is saying no Watkins today, but the team, I think, is just about to be announced if it hasn't been announced already. So
the team is out, and Lizanne is perfectly correct.
Lizanne is perfectly correct. He's not even on the bench.
Not even on the bench, no.
And Feeney makes the bench. So let us share up the screen here, because. Here we go. Let me share. So just sharing the screen, we have Martinez, Cash, Konza, House, Target, McGinn, who's captain for the day today, Douglas Luiz, Ramsey, and then Traore, Ings, and Buendia. Now, in the pre-match preview, I called for Traore to play, just from the fact that we're not going to have him for a couple of weeks, so we might as well get the juice out of the squeeze for him as well. Subs bench, we have Steer, we have Feeney, Sanson, Young Tim, Carney Chukwuemeka, Trezeguet, El Ghazi, Philogene Bides, and Archer. There's a lot of names on the bench, a lot of double barrel names, or well, at least one anyway. There's a lot of letters on the bench, should I say?
There's a lot of bloody attacking options on the bench. We're struggling a bit defensively on the bench there.
Yeah, like realistically speaking, if we get an injury to one of the fullbacks, does John McGinn go into a fullback position?
Yeah.
Does John McGinn go in left back? If Target gets injured, there's no way you push House out there. I don't think.
No, we might have to. That might be. God, yeah. There's a lot going on there now.
Even looking at it, do you bring in Josh Feeney? They obviously think really, really high of him, and we just picked him up there and everything. But now I'm looking at it, he's the only defender on the bench. And if we get an injury to a defender, we need to go 3 at the back. Are you bringing in Josh Feeney?
We might have to.
And the next question, I suppose, is who's missing?
Okay, so we know Watkins is missing. After that, I'm struggling.
Yeah, guys, dig us out here. I'm trying to think of defenders who are missing here as well.
Well, obviously Mings is suspended, so that's the big one.
Young, Dara, thanks. Young, we're missing Ashley Young. We're missing Ashley Young from the point of view of the versatility there as well for both fullback positions. Interesting. Yeah, it's a wonder that Ben Crescene isn't on the bench there as well. Yeah. Just
we don't know who else is of the younger kids is self-isolating either, because obviously we might have saw the likes of Bogard, who would have been a bit flexible, Swinkles, who could have covered the centre half, these kind of guys stepping up to the plate, which I'm sure they probably would. But it's very interesting that there's a lack of defensive options off the bench. So, young Josh Feeney might see a Premier League debut, and we might have a look. He could become one of our youngest ever players in the Premier League.
All right, so you're getting Josh Feeney to score the winner. Brighter over stuff. There's a lot of talking on this. It's not a tantrum. This is more like a team sheet conundrum today, because there's a lot of questions. Not so much on the first team, because look, the first team is very, very capable. I still think with the first team we've got out there that we should win this game.
Exactly, and that's the first and foremost, the most important thing. The team that's going out there is more than capable of beating Brentford and beating them well, in my opinion. So, barring anything going drastically wrong, I think we'll be fine, and I think we'll still get 3 points here. And I still think my initial thoughts of winning by 2 clear goals is absolutely well within the possibilities for us. So I'm not too disheartened. It's just scratching my head a little bit about the bench, that's all.
Yeah. I'll put it this way: if we go 2 goals down, at least we've got people we can bring on. And look, we're talking about Josh Feeney. We're talking about Josh Feeney here as the shining star of the fact our academy is working. Young Tim, Philogene Bides, Archer, Jacob Ramsey. You've got a match day, whatever is in there, and you've got what's that? 1, 2, 3. I've forgotten even about Carney. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 homegrown players in that squad.
Yeah.
Now, granted, look, are we really being really facetious by saying Feeney and Young Tim are homegrown players, considering they're barely here long enough to warm the seat? But still, we're putting our faith in these young players that we brought in that people thought were potential pot shots in the dark.
Yeah. And I suppose the one person we forgot to mention and all that was Tuanzebe. Tuanzebe will be in there, cover right back, cover central defensive midfielder, cover centre half. So it just means we're going to have to act soon, because we might need a little bit more, let's say, experience, because obviously we can't trust the kids to come in and do the job all the time either, especially with defence. I think defence has to be rock solid. So that's Mings and Tuanzebe are the big losses in there. So we obviously didn't see the Tuanzebe thing when Mings got his 5th yellow card.
I saw a little sneaky comment up there somewhere, and when I say sneaky one, is one that it snuck by me, and we might have to. I'm just going to put this up here. So we've got no inside information or anything on that, but PSK said a medical book for Wednesday, gents. Good news. I have no idea what player that is alluding to, but
maybe it's PSK. Is he signing for Villa?
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe so. But yeah, interesting one. Interesting one. I would imagine defensive reinforcements will be in, which just brings me. I spent the morning doing a Tagliafico breakdown, and it was really, really enjoyable, I must say. And that would be out. I wasn't going to put it out this morning, but I'm going to put it out later on today, I think, after the game, if anybody wants to look at it. But and I've got one on Aaron Hickey as well that I just haven't released yet. But I think the Tagliafico one was more interesting for me, so I'm going to put that one out first. But looking at the players that we do have, as opposed to the players that will be coming in there, like you've got Trezeguet, El Ghazi, Philogene Bides, all on the bench there. Like I'm going to ask a question here. What's the point in having the three of those on the bench? What is the point in having the three of those on the bench? And the reason I'm asking the question is, what's the point in having the three of those on the bench when not all three of them are ever going to come on in the same game, number one? And yes, I know they're all different players and so on and so forth. But what's the point in having the three of those on the bench when you only have one defensive player there? And when Ben Crisene could come into the bench and make us a small bit more balanced, or when a Hayden Lindley could come in there, and yes, while he does play in a central midfield position, he is being groomed to be a right back as well at the same time. You know,
but let's just
have a question.
Remember half the UK is down with COVID at the moment and this Omicron variant, so we don't know.
That's true.
The ins and outs of what's going on behind the team. The three players you mentioned.
That's true.
If our three attacking options got injured, the three of them will come on and we'd still be fine. So it's a little bit worrying that we don't have defensive cover, but I think we'll be absolutely fine. We've just got to go out all guns blazing, and we got to play for 90 minutes today, because that's the most important thing that happens today. If we can get 3 points and play for 90 minutes and turn the corner of being a game of two halves, I think we'll be okay.
Let's take a look at the Hounslow town. Is it Hounslow Brentford are based out of?
No, it's in Brentford. It's a bit away from Hounslow.
Is it? Yeah, but
very close to Hounslow. Yeah.
Do the other London teams not call them Hounslow Town or something like that? I don't know.
Maybe.
I just remember hearing a couple of Spurs fans calling them something like that, but we'll call them Brentford anyway. Brentford start with Fernandez and goals, Pinnock, Jensen and Beck starts in there, and no Christoph Ayer, who's only on the bench. That's
big thing.
Big. Rorslev starts on the right wing back. Onyeka, Norgard, and Jensen. Jensen is a tricky customer, likes to play the ball forward an awful lot. So he's somebody that we're going to have to look at as well. And his Scandinavian brethren there, Norgard, who I spoke about in the preview as well, is somebody who is very much taken to the Premier League in that pivot position as well. And then we've got Sergio Canos as a left wing back, and Wissa Antoni, and he doesn't even make the bench. So big news there for me is the fact that we've got no Brian Mbeumo there, who is very much the lightning rod for their attack. Works very well with Ivan Toney up there. Now Wissa came on against us in the first game, I think, and there's a lot of shithousery from him. Like he's a fellow who doesn't mind sticking the foot in and winding people up, but he's a competent player, and he's going to do what I suppose what you'd expect a Brentford team to do, and he's going to track you down. He's going to hassle you. I would be worried if Josh Feeney had to come in this instance there, because he's going to have fully grown men in his face 99% of the time, because they don't give you a second to settle on the ball. Some good news there. No Rico Henry. I think that's very, very good. Obviously, we knew he wasn't going to play. No Rico Henry is good. The fact that Beck is in there, I don't know a whole lot about him as a centre half. And the fact that they've got no Brian Mbeumo means that they are struggling. So they've no Janlet either. Janlet's only on the bench too. That's another big one. Yeah, that's who Jensen is in for there. So some positive news coming out of the Brentford lineup too, I think.
Yeah, and they've a lot of options there now. In fairness, they have a fairly strong team available despite their absentees. Tony is a big one for me. Seemed to be really up for it when he played us, and of course did the Zulu celebration after scoring, which he should have been punished for afterwards, because we're going to see what was it, Ruben Diaz, was it, that scored the other day? Going to be punished for celebrating in front of the crowd, so he should have been as well. But because his agent is a blue nose, he decided to do the Zulu celebration. So don't have much time for him after that, and I don't have much time for Pontus Jansson either. So I'd like to see us turn these over today and turn them over well.
My thoughts on, I don't know a lot about Beck, so I'm going to say this and fully expect to be proven wrong, but we're going to need Buendia to literally sit down on Ethan Pinnock's right foot for the rest for the day today, because they're going to play every single ball out the back will come through Ethan Pinnock. Back there, he's their big passer. He brings the ball like he's almost like a pivot point in that back three. Himself and Norgard, Douglas Luiz is going to want to be down Norgard's throat. I think today an awful lot. So he's going to need to get there as well. It's going to be a fascinating matchup. If this was at home, I would be very, very confident to saying a 2-0 win. If we're playing them in Villa Park, I'd say a 2-0 win. Because of the fact it's away, I just think that there's a mitigation factor there for it.
There's a good old atmosphere there, but it's not as intimidating yet as I'm sure they'd like it to be. And I don't think the last place was that intimidating either. It's quite a friendly place to go. So I think it'll come down to the players on the pitch today. I don't think the fans will play a huge role in what happens. I see there Joseph has made a comment about Feeney. He's obviously done his homework. He's 6'3", Neil.
He's a big guy. I know, but like he's 16 years of age as well. And like I wasn't, there's very few 16-year-olds that when you've got a fully grown man in your face all day long, that that something doesn't start rolling down the back of your leg, so it's not his height that's the problem. I think it's the experience and maturity thing that, look, I could be 100% wrong. Wayne Rooney came onto the field at 16, didn't he, for Everton? And we know how his career looks. So if you're good enough, you're old enough, I suppose. Maybe I'm just being stupid in my thought process there.
And in fairness, we haven't had any of these young fellas step up and let us down at any stage. So
exactly,
you'd have to believe in the process that the academy system is signing players that are capable of doing this, and we have yet to call someone up and have them have a nightmare on a match day. So I think he'd be absolutely fine.
There are a couple of people making good points here. Trezeguet can probably do a job at right back. Yeah, he probably he's all effort. Like you can say what you like about Trezeguet and his skill level, but his effort is never in doubt.
And you've also got Sanson to come in there who could possibly shift maybe Douglas Luiz to right back if needs be.
I was just thinking Douglas Luiz to centre half potentially could be something that they might look at too, fitting in there. Look, lads, we're really spitballing here. None of us have a blind iota what's going to happen if it does come to it. They might look at Feeney and say, right, lad, there you go. Go earn your professional contract that you've just signed, and go out there and play against Brentford. If we were going to send you on loan this season, we send you on loan to maybe League One team or whatever. You're going to be playing against fully grown men. Then go out there and play against them in the Premier League. See how you get on. Who knows? And that is true as well. Youth has no fear. That's one of the the drawbacks of youth is that they don't see danger an awful lot. So that's a positive. That could be a plus point as well. Look, we're talking about something that I'm going to be really honest. We hope doesn't happen. We hope we don't get any injuries. We hope we don't have anyone sent off. We hope we don't have to reshuffle. We hope our back five stay the exact same for the whole game.
But you know what would be nice, Neil, if we were up
4-0 and we could bring you on.
You make sure Ezri Konsa doesn't get that extra yellow card or whatever, and just because we're halfway through the season, I think today, are we? That's when we see the moratorium on yellow cards come in.
Once for the 5 yellow cards, and then the 10 is usually in around March. Is it today?
I think it's today. Yeah, I think today is game 19. I could be wrong, but I think it's game 19. And if memory serves me correct, it's John McGinn and Ezri Konsa sitting on 4. Would that be correct?
Yes.
Does that ring a bell?
Correct. Yeah, Ezri Konsa got a yellow card for his tackle the last day, which brings him to 4. And John McGinn has been on 4 forever.
60 minutes in, 3-0 up. Bring young Feeney in there and take Ezri Konsa off and let him.
If they reset after this week and he's on 5 after this week, surely they'll be reset. So just let him tackle out around him.
Well, if you pick one up this week, you get a ban. That's the thing.
Danielle says that the deadline's passed.
I think the deadline would have been passed if we played the game against Leeds. It's 19 games. It's halfway through the season. But hang on, I'll have a look at the league table.
I'll let the two of you guys fight it out in DMs. Yeah, listen, Jesus lads, I'm really enthused about this game today. I'm really excited about it. It's the first game of the season, and my mind goes back, and I'm a small bit damaged over our first game of the season last season, because of the Pogba penalty against Man United, and like I don't. If we lose 1-0 and we play really well and they play a small bit better than us, as long as there's no shit decisions, I'm okay. Like it would like I don't know how many holes in the wall you'd see behind me there for me punching it if we have stupid decisions from VAR or referees today. I just New Year, please do things rationally. Please, is all I want to see from the officiating crew today. And as I said, I put out on Twitter yesterday. I said, "Look, that penalty for Man City yesterday. He had a hold of his jersey. It was a penalty. It was the flop afterwards was very theatrical. But I want to see penalties. If you're going to give him a penalty for that, give everyone a penalty for it. Don't just give him the penalty for it. Give everyone. And also, if the referee decides that's not a penalty and VAR wants to intervene, let VAR intervene every single time. Don't just do it opinion-based. Do it every time. Paint the league with VAR if you need to, but make sure you have it for every single team in every single instance that you're doing it for other teams. That's all I want, and that's my rant out of the way. Who's reffing it today, Paddy? Before I go too far down.
Before we get on to the referee, any player earning 5 bookings from their side's first 19 Premier League matches will serve a 1-match ban in the same competition.
19 Premier League matches. That's okay. So it's
19 we matches. Are on 18 games today, so we're good as far as that's concerned. Well, we're not good because we're not out of the woods, but we just hope that they don't pick up the yellow cards today. And Craig Pawson is the referee today.
Craig Pawson, yeah, okay.
Which have we seen in the last week or so? It doesn't really matter who you get; they're all rubbish.
There has to be 1 or 2 good people out there, Paddy. There has to be 1 or 2 fellas who have a decent game out there. Cool. Right here, lads. I don't think we've got much more to talk about. I think a lot of this story is to be written. Paddy, you said 2-0 win for Aston Villa today.
+2, I think. Yeah, I think we win 2-0, 3-1. I think we'll win handy enough today.
I'm going to go 2-1.
A little bit worried about the lack of options on the bench, but I think we have enough to go and stifle them early on and get a couple of goals in the first half. I think we'll be home and dry.
We could go full on Kevin Keegan and just score 1 more goal than them. Like that's what the mentality would have to be if we get injuries. You know, just to start overloading an attack. But yeah. That would be an interesting spectacle. No, I think it's going to be 2-1 Aston Villa. I'm confident enough. I'd like to know more about why Ollie Watkins isn't in there or on the bench. I would like that to be asked even prior to the game and to be answered prior to the game because, listen, look, going back to Brentford and
I think we can probably work it out ourselves. I know there's GDPR issues that we can't discuss who has COVID unless they tell the manager, yes, you can tell whoever that I have COVID. That's absolutely fine. So there's a probably 90% chance that is the situation, and if it is, I would
still like the question to be asked.
I would too. Whether he has that, he can't answer unless the apparently they can't answer unless the player has given signed permission to do so.
Well, if he doesn't answer, then we know that it's because they've got COVID. Because
exactly.
Got COVID, you know.
Yeah. Anyway, look, Happy New Year, everyone. There's a big load of people on there, and I'm going to do Neil's job now and tell you all to like and subscribe and click the thumbs up button on the bottom of the screen there because it's important to us and our algorithms to get our name out there and more people watching. So thanks very much for everybody. That's a huge number to be watching on so early on a Sunday morning. Is it Sunday? It is Sunday, is it?
It's Sunday, yeah. I've checked 3 times today already. Yeah. It's Sunday.
Feels like a Saturday because we've got 1 more day off tomorrow. So might have one last Christmas blowout with a few cans after the match.
Yeah, and just before we go as well, just on our podcast partner as well, Spond application. If you guys haven't already checked it out, please do. The Spond application is great for organization, for any teams, organizations, groups, whatever you have. Spond app it's a free application that will allow you to organize things, send out announcements, collects payments. It's an all-encompassing app. Spond, just have a look at them, spond.com. You can find it on iOS or Android as well. It's a great little application, and you never know, it might make your life a hell of a lot easier for organizing things. So that's the Spond app, guys, as well. We are 39 minutes before the game.
Important one.
Confirmed ongoing COVID injuries. Okay.
I think we can safely say, if that's the case, that's why we don't have Ollie today.
Yeah. And I'm going to show this one up. Watkins' medical info is none of your business, just like yours is none of anyone else's business. 100%. I agree with
exactly. You. And that's why I mentioned GDPR.
Exactly. But I want to know why Ollie Watkins isn't in the team. He doesn't have to tell me what the issue is. You just say, yeah, he's just not fit to play today. The reason I asked that question, and I am going to call it, the reason I asked that question is because exactly what Lizanne said, that there was rumours that he was potentially going to Arsenal. And I wanted that question answered with regards to what the situation was, whether there was bids in for him and so on, because I think he's quite a pivotal player. So exactly, Ollie Watkins' medical history is none of my business, but I want to know why he wasn't playing. And if he was just to say that he isn't available for selection today, that's fine. Or if he was to say that there's an ongoing bid in for him, then that's more concerning to me than any medical piece as well. So thanks a million for your comment there. Excuse me, Master. Thanks a bit. Thanks. It is important to clarify that as well, because we don't want anybody else thinking otherwise of that situation. All right. So thanks a million, everyone, for listening. 37 minutes to go before our kickoff. Let's hope that the omens are good for us and that we have a fantastic game today. And hopefully everybody who's at the game today has a great time too, because look, days out are few and far between at the moment. So hopefully they've got a great day, and hopefully we'll come back with a win. So thanks a million, everybody, for watching, for listening. Please hit the like button at the bottom. Please subscribe if you have not done so already. And we will be back with a post-match preview as well. And thanks a million once again. And all that's left to say is up the Villa.
Up the Villa.